Good morning and welcome to another edition of Prime Insights. Another week for us to put Ghana first and to discuss the issues that can help propel Ghana to where it has to be. But this week, the issue has been on how Galamsey is impacting our environment. Now, the CSOs want all of us to call it an environmental crime, so that it really sends that particular message to all of us. The PRC brought together a group of people, the utility companies, to talk about why the need for them to have increment in their tariff. Now, for the Ghana Water Company Limited, the issue had to do with the increase in production costs because of Galamsey. Then the president meets the media, and the answers the president gives with regards to the fight on Galamsey is deemed by the CSOs, a majority of Ghanaians, as unsatisfactory. So today, we are here to look at the president's no state of emergency versus the CSO's position. The president says, looking at what they know, we are not there yet to declare a state of emergency, but majority of Ghanaians and the CSO say, you are wrong. We'll delve into that particular matter here on Prime Insights, as well as go into the Galamsey effect and the call for tariff increment, the case of Ghana Water Company Limited and the ECG. We'll delve into all of that. My guest will be, joining us shortly, some of them already in the studio, plus our studio audience together will delve into the matters and ensure that by the end of the day, we all come to a conclusion that we need to put Ghana first. This is Prime Insight. My name is Kojo Brace, and today I'm sitting in for your regular host, Blessed Soga. We'll take a quick break. When we come, we'll delve into the matters. Stay with us.
Maintain a positive mindset. Adopt a positive and optimistic outlook, even in the face of challenges. This can help you navigate difficult situations more effectively. For instance, refrain from negative thoughts and focus on the potential solution.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Mix. You get everything inside. Champion taste.
Get ready for a night of worship and celebration this September 21st, 2025. All roads lead to the National Theatre for Bernard Amankwa's celebration of His Grace concert under the theme Thou Art Loosed, featuring an all-star lineup of anointed ministers: Reverend Thomas Yawson, Dave the Music Box, Gina Bankram, Roderick Ejekum, La Famille, Empress, and Presence Band. It's more than an encounter. Experience the freedom we adore as chains are broken and hearts are set free. And the best part, admission is absolutely free. With gratitude to our proud sponsors InnoLink, Rayroy, New Professionals, Innovate, Specialize, Fomi Ghana, and Controlite. Time is 6 p.m. sharp. Media partners: Joy FM, Adum FM, Asempa FM, Hits FM, Adum TV, Joy Prime, My Joy Online. Call 0554 074 766. Mark your calendars for September 21st and come prepared to worship and celebrate. See you there.
September, 2 Cute Entertainment House, in partnership with AVV Foods, presents 3-time Best Stand-Up Comedian, 2-time overall Best Comedian, Ghana's finest comedy export. It's Lexi the Comic, FBI.
I miss Papa J's era. Sometimes I picture his relationship with Atamel where they are now. I wish I could interview Atamel. Me, I know. My dodging. If they get it, why by heaven, I'll be a
Funny Boy in it, performing alongside Lexi, Chris Mapani, and KG Mokhad, all from South Africa. General Ntatia, Parrot Mao, Ben Sao, James Brown, Jeffrey Norte. Ticket 200 Ghana cedis regular, 300 Ghana cedis double, 300 Ghana cedis VIP, and 500 Ghana cedis VVIP. Star 714 star 800 hash or the front desk of Joy FM. Funny Boy in it. Sponsors South African Airways, Asempafia Graphics, Impabwara. It's all going down Saturday, 27th of September 2025 at the UPSA Auditorium, 7 p.m. sharp. Media partners: Joy 99.7 FM, Hit FM, Adom FM, Adom TV, Joy Prime, Joy News, and JoyOnline.com. This September, Lexi is the FBI you know. He's a funny boy in it.
All right, welcome back to Prime Insight here on Joy Prime. And let's start from when this whole issue started coming up. The Galamsey issue has been with us for years. But why has it become so topical now? Because of the president's encounter with the media and the responses he gave, which majority of Ghanaians deem as unsatisfactory. But it all started from the PRC encounter with the media, where they explained the rationale the Ghana Water Company Limited has given for asking for over 200% increment in tariffs. So we'll bring you that interaction with the PRC, bring you that of the president, and then when we come back, my guest, who are already seated in the studio, will help us delve into the matter. So let's go and take these videos.
Ghana Water Company has a lot of issues with the water that they have to process for us to use. And yesterday I said something. I said that in no time Ghana will be water poor. Water poor where water might be imported. And in that stead, we will create vulnerabilities for the vulnerable because the poor cannot buy water from abroad. So as the media, I think it is time for us, all of us, to come together and remove the politics from the fight of Galamsey, so that together we make it okay for everybody. The future is blue for water provision and quality in this nation, and we need to take it seriously.
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have. And if it becomes necessary for a state of emergency, then we'll look at it. It means we have to go to Parliament. The president can't just declare a state of emergency without, going to Parliament, because there's a limit to how long you can maintain that state of emergency. And so I believe that we still have leverage to continue to fight Galamsey without necessarily implementing a state of emergency. It means that we have to delineate the areas where the state of emergency is operational. And if you look at the area where Galamsey is taking place, it covers several districts of our country. And so we would do it if it becomes necessary. But for now, I think that we've given the security services enough powers to be able to deal with people who are found to be involved in Galamsey. We called off the IGP's anti-Galamsey task force because they are supposed to coordinate with NIMOS, that is the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. Unfortunately, they were not doing that. So every little commander in this thing gets up, Galamsey phobia, they can't tell who is licensed, they can't tell who is not licensed. And so it was just like an attack on the whole small-scale mining industry. And so what we said was they should freeze their action. They should synchronize it with the National Anti-Galamsey Operational Secretariat so that they can be directed exactly to where to go in terms of the anti-Galamsey fight. While we're fighting Galamsey, it doesn't mean that it's a free-for-all for everybody to get up. Anybody gets up, puts on a helmet, puts on a jacket, and says, I'm anti-Galamsey. They say, we're not looking for chaos. We're looking to do it, in a scientific manner so that we do not hurt the whole of the small-scale mining industry. And so the first thing is you shut the stable door so that the horse doesn't escape, which is what we've done. So if it's from illegal sources, it's from legal sources. At least it's our land that is being destroyed. So let us get the benefit of it instead of foreign traders. So that's the first thing. But if you go and read the Gold Board law, it has a requirement for tracking and tracing. And as I speak, the Gold Board is working with an organization to put on a track and trace system. So we found the land near Shire Hills, near the military installation. And the Field Engineers Regiment and others have been given charge to move the excavators from the port to that area so that they can free up space in the port. And they do that in the night because of traffic in the daytime. So in the night, they have the payloaders moving the excavators out of the port to the designated areas where they are supposed to be held. And before any of those excavators is released, they must be tracked, they must have a tracker on them, they must be registered by the owner of the excavator, and we must know the purpose for which the excavator has been imported. Because the construction industry also imports excavators.
Ghana Water Company has a lot of issues with the water that they have to process for us to use. Yesterday I said something, I said that.
All right, so welcome back to the show. You've listened to Nanaya Jantwa, who is on the board of PRC. You've also listened to President John Dramani Mahama gave responses to questions about Galamsey during his media encounter. Well, let's come into the studio and put these matters into perspectives. In studio, I have Dr. Palgrave Bwache Dankwa. He is former government spokesperson on governance. Dr. Solomon Owusu is a mining engineering and mineral economics consultant from the US of A. Awula Sewa, we all know her, as she's a coordinator of eco-conscious citizens. They are all here with me in the studio. And also, Ivan Che Innocent is a youth activist, together with a lot of students from the university level, and they are here to help us do this. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All is well?
All is well,
okay.
As well.
And good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, as well. Great. Let me start with you, Dr. Solomon Owusu. I want you to take the next 10 minutes we have, lay the matters bare. Why are we not winning this fight?
Thank you very much. And let me use this opportunity to extend my regards to your cherished listeners and viewers across the world. I will say we are not winning this fight because we are not using the right approach to tackle the fundamental problems of the small-scale and illegal mining menace. Why am I saying that? Both the licensed small-scale miners and then the illegal miners, the unlicensed small-scale miners, those are the illegal miners. But the licensed small-scale miners, the method that they use to mine the gold and process the gold are the same. If you go to a mining site and small-scale miner, licensed small-scale miner is mining, and then you go to another site and a Galamsey, illegal miner, is mining, the only difference is someone has a certificate, someone has a license to mine, and the illegal miner doesn't have the license to mine. But I'm telling you, both licensed and unlicensed small-scale miners pollute water bodies and degrade land. So if you attack only the illegal miners, what about the licensed small-scale miners who are legitimate, who have the legitimate license to mine, but they are also polluting the water bodies and degrade land? Both the previous government and the current government, you asked me for my professional opinion. I know Pargrave, Increment, and all those who will talk about politics. I'm here to give my professional opinion. My brother, this is how we should look at the whole scenario. One, the fundamental problem.
Well, Doc, but I mean, if you say the legal licensed small-scale miners and the illegal miners are doing the same thing, it means that reinforces the assertion that Minerals Commission has also failed, because they are supposed to be regulating the licensed small-scale miners to ensure that they're doing the right things.
Before I answer your question, I think let me dissect the problem, because I've been listening to a lot of people. Most of them are politicians. Most of them are lawyers. They haven't been to the field before. They haven't gone to the Galamsey side before.
Okay.
They haven't even studied the theory behind mining before. That's why today, as I'm in Ghana, I decided to come and explain certain things, educate people before we start the discussion. Look, we have three problems now. The polluted water from the mining sites where they are mining. The polluted water from the rivers. People are mining illegally on the rivers now, today. Then the unreclaimed lands. These are the three problems we call the menace associated with small-scale mining. And the small-scale mining comprises of the licensed small-scale mining, the illegal mining, which is unlicensed, and then they said community mining or cooperative mining. MPP said community mining. NDC is saying cooperative mining. I will leave that one to the politicians to dissect. Pargrave and co. So, how can we tackle these polluted water bodies from the site and also on the rivers? One, on the site. As of today, both the licensed small-scale mining guys and the unlicensed small-scale mining guys use the same method, and they don't control the wastewater. If I say wastewater, after washing the soil or rocks, let me bring it to the local terms, the ore, we call it the ore. After washing with their champagnes and stuff, they don't control the water, the wastewater. They don't contain it, and they don't treat it before discharging it through the streams to join the rivers. That's number one. Number two, those dredging, we call it dredging, those mining on the rivers, dredging. The law says that you can't mine on any riverboard. You can't even mine 100 meters from a river. Why do we have people mining as of today? So now you understand where I'm coming from. So one, we need to first clear all those guys from the rivers. They are all, no, Minerals Commission will never give or offer license to somebody to go and mine in the rivers. No, it's against the law. They won't do it. So anybody mining on the river is illegal miner. Why do we still have them mining? Since these guys spent 8 years, these guys have spent, I'm glad I'm in between them. They all know me. I know this guy very well. I know this guy very well. They spent 8 years, nothing. These guys have spent 8 months, nothing. I will say nothing because I haven't seen any change. I'm here to give professional opinion. Now, can we clear them, clean the water, and monitor such that it will not happen again? Is it what we are seeing now? No. I will say no. But the interesting aspect is we have the previous government, they didn't listen. These guys didn't listen. Because some of us, as technocrats in the field, we tried to the point that it became, a whole lot of stuff. When I put my professional this in somewhere and decided to go on the ground with them. You understand it later, not today. But these guys have come 8 months. They have started something, and they are willing to listen and use the right approach. As of today, they use wrong approach. They are repeating the same. But when President was speaking, he said, he first considered that the method that they will implement for the miners to mine responsibly is not yet in place. He considered, you can play it. So we have a president who has accepted that yes, they are trying their best, but they are not yet there. And we had a president who said, yeah, in Ethiopia, we will not listen to anybody. We will do whatever we are planning. Look, MPP's side, it was like you are in circle. You want to go to Winneba, and you pass the Achimota Road going to Kumasi. That was MPP. And NDC, they started from circle. They reach Adabraka, and someone say, hey, Master, come back and pass this. And they are ready to listen. That's the difference. Please, I'm not here to speak for NDC. I'm not NDC, I'm not MP. I used to be MPP and I resigned in 2019. I don't belong to any particular party. I'm here to give professional opinion. Let's give President Mahama some time and see if he will do something different from what these guys did. Now, do you know why some of us have advocated for these things for a long time? My brother, you are in Accra. You said you can buy Belakwa, Vena, and drink. The food you eat, do you know the pipe, where the water is coming from? It's affecting everybody from the presidency to the last person, the diplomatic corps, everybody. Why? Let's take Weja treatment plant, Accra here. The two main water treatment plants are the Weja treatment plant and then the Pong treatment plant. The Weja treatment plant was built in 1914.
So be wrapping up for me.
And as at that time, they didn't calibrate the system such that it will treat the mercury, arsenic, the cyanide, the poisonous chemicals in it 100%. So as they treat now, the Densu, go to Densu and see the Galamsey. The Densu, that feeds the water treatment plant for them to treat and push through the pipes for human consumption. I can confidently tell you that there may be traces of this cyanide, mercury, arsenic and all that in the water. And we use that in the restaurant, our homes to cook and all that. So it's affecting everybody. Now, on treatment plant.
Why do you say so?
It's affecting everybody. So the traces you can't see with your naked eyes. Now, can you tell me whether those days in the 80s, 90s, were you hearing about the kidney problems and all that, plenty like that?
Okay, I'm grateful.
Now, please, give me 1 more minute, please. This is important, 1 more minute. Pond treatment plant was built in 1978. The main river that, feeds the Pond treatment plant is Volta Lake, Black Volta, Galamsey is ongoing. Kumasi, Ashanti, my place. Barikesi water treatment plant. The river that feeds that treatment plant is often. Go and see Chinese guys on the offering right now. So it's affecting everybody. Ankobra, Birim, Pra, and all that. They all feed the water treatment plant. So if some of us are advocating for the right thing, we shouldn't politicize it. Let's all support the president to succeed. And I disagree with the state of emergency thing. I disagree. Let's give the president some time.
That's fine. Thank you very much. You've made your point. Let me bring in Awula Sewa. Awula, you've been at the forefront of this whole fight since it began. Do you agree we should give the president some time?
No. You see, let me be absolutely clear. Everything my brother has said is known. It's not a secret. Everybody knows that, or everybody should know. It's not a secret. And if you agree that 60% of our water bodies are being poisoned, you've agreed on that. The president has been in power for 9 months, and we have all this information. What exactly are we doing? And what we have to understand is that illegal mining, even if you have a license and you go outside the parameters of your license, everybody knows that. Professor Frimpong Boateng also put it in his report. You are engaged in what? What are you engaged in? Illegal mining. Having a piece of paper, I've got a driving license. Does that mean I should drive on the pavement? I should drive whilst intoxicated because I've got a driving license? Of course not. So nothing that has been said is new. Anybody who is actually interested would have this information. So you are president. Before you came, there are so many statements they made. They were lining up, declare a state of emergency from Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa to Honorable Samjo. They all were saying declare a state of emergency. The current president has been in power before, so he has a lot of information. Now you suddenly come to power, and it suddenly dawns on you that you cannot declare a state of emergency. You said you have other means at your disposal. If you do, what are you waiting for until every Ghanaian has dropped dead? I have the analogy, a house is burning. You thought it was a small fire, so you're using buckets of water. It's quite clear the fire is out of control, but you refuse to call the fire service. I am not wedded on calling a state of emergency, but I'm wedded on ending the canker. When Honorable Chairman Teng was there, he had said if he came to power, he would pause all forms of small-scale mining. We need a pause, because what is happening now is that there's no enforcement, no compliance. As was rightly said by my brother, nobody will give you a license to go and mine on water bodies. Nobody will give you a license to go and mine small-scale mining, to go and mine in forest reserves. So you are all doing illegality, whether you have a license or not. But our problem is compliance. And in fact, before the whole thing about small-scale mining was brought, lots of people who had a little bit of foresight said, Ghanaians, we cannot do it. We will not enforce. We will not ensure compliance. All that my brother has said, having the tailings, it's part of everybody knows that. But it's not being done and nobody is enforcing. Yet the Minerals Commission keeps on issuing licenses like confetti when they know very well that they are unable to monitor. And this is an indictment. It's criminal. Kath, Komfo Hospital, has told us that the number of kidney disease cases has gone up fourfold. 60% of our water bodies are contaminated. Of course, Ghana water does not remove the toxins. Everybody knows that. All they do is remove what makes the water brown. So the fact that the water is clear doesn't mean it's safe. Some water companies go through what they call reverse osmosis in a bid to remove these toxins, which are colorless. Cyanide, mercury, arsenic, they don't have a color. So you young people, if you're going to sit there and allow the politicians to destroy your future, it's your call. I have got more behind me than in front. We're advocating for Ghana. And people who are politicizing it, God will judge you. Because God asked us to take care of our environment. We go to church, pay lip service, but we are supervising the poisoning of Ghanaians. We are supervising the poisoning of Ghanaians. And I'll end up by saying that if you are saying that there are other means available, what on earth are you waiting for? Are you waiting for 100% of the water bodies to be poisoned? Are you waiting for everybody to be dropping dead, having developed kidney disease? What on earth are you waiting for? When the IGP's men were being told that they couldn't differentiate, nobody is supposed to be on the water bodies, whether you have a license or not. Because nobody, as my brother said, will give you a license to go within certain parameters of our water. So therefore, as we speak, those on the Chan Fan, they are involved in illegal mining. We've trained the so-called blue-green water guards. What is happening? You see, you cannot play politics with the lives of Ghanaians. We are being poisoned, every one of us. Even if you have got the reverse osmosis in your home, what do you brush your teeth with? What do you cook with? When you go to restaurants, what water do you think they are using? Now, the food you are eating, the cassava, the plantains, where do you think they come from? The farmlands, what water do you think is watering them? So we face what I call an existential threat. Our right to exist is being compromised. And when people are sitting there saying things that don't stand scrutiny, it's very disheartening. Very disheartening. Let's put Ghana first. Ghana, God has a nation ahead. Let's for once forget about party politics and put Ghana first. I don't have a problem because Ghana is my party.
That's Awula Sewa, the coordinator of the Eco-Conscious Citizens. Let me bring in Elikem Kotoko. He's deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission. Elikem, when you listen to Awula Sewa paint the picture of how we are all affected in one way or the other, doesn't it stoke some emotions in you to say enough is enough and we think that we have to double up our effort as a government?
Thank you so much. Before I answer your question, permit me to quickly just make some, clarify some information on your platform. Okay. I think in about 48 hours ago, Joy published some news item that excavators, they had uncovered excavators that were being moved at night, that purported to presume that something illegal was being done. May I respectfully say that the sector minister at the time even issued a directive or a release making us know that these were just being moved to... When did the directive come? Oh, I have it here. I can share with you.
Yeah, I've seen it. The one which was the dated 22nd August.
I don't recall.
Yeah, the one which is saying that we are going to move the excavators and that you have to blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying that the date is 22nd August. Why did we only see it when the story came out?
But I mean, you are a media person. I'm glad you are even responding to it because the point is that having seen it being moved, you've all seen where it's been moved to in the first place, which tells you that whatever was said to be uncovered, nothing was really uncovered anyway.
Oh, really?
These were moved to a military installation.
We saw videos of them being moved at night.
Yes.
The Importers Association is accusing the minister of creating jobs for people because now you have to go and see party people to justify and take your excavators, which will, of course, get some people paying money. That's what they're saying.
That is not the case. I mean, has anybody adduced any evidence to that effect, or these are hearsays you want to work?
Were you moving the excavators at night or not?
They were moving at night, and I think if it had to even take the president to again re-emphasize reasons why it was being moved at night, because there was a lot of congestion and traffic during the daytime would not allow for you to be moving these moving equipment during the daytime. So you better move it at night where there is free movement. And that is a simple.
What was causing the congestion?
Vehicular traffic on the road.
What was causing it, the congestion at the port?
The congestion. The excavators were more than necessary at the port. So you know the size of an excavator. So even if you had even just 500 excavators at the port, that would be occupying space meant for probably even maybe 1,000 vehicles or other containers and other things.
The minister gave a directive in June.
Yes.
That no one imports an excavator without permit.
Exactly.
Since that directive, how many excavators have moved into the country? Such that we are now being told that excavators are congesting.
Yeah, it is because you would agree with me, even if you talk of June, there may be a lot that could still be on the seas. We know the shipment process. It's not just a matter of a month to take off from maybe Europe or wherever to the shores of Ghana. And so whilst that is in effect, it does not mean that you can stop what is already at sea. But you would have to put in measures to make sure you decongest the port to allow for economic activity to as well go on. And that evidence, you see, if I had seen any evidence of anyone probably moving it out of a jurisdiction other than the military installations where it's going, then there will be a strong case for us to actually be talking about.
Yeah, but I had to take Joy News to come out with the story for you to then issue a belated paper.
No, but you
a
see,
paper that you see, a paper that the number on it, we called the person's number and says, I know nothing about it.
You see, Joy News, Joy News has everything available, every resource available to it, to again follow up if you saw an excavator even moving out at night. to even trace it to where it was going. And if you
anyway, let's come to that, because that's
it went to a military installation. Yes. Okay.
Let's come to our issue.
Okay.
About why we are being killed. Yet we are being told that the IGP's task force has been recalled because they couldn't differentiate between a licensed miner and an illegal miner. We are being told 8 months down the line, positions are changing. Now you cannot declare a state of emergency.
Thank you so much. And I have, and will first again commend President Mahama for his dedication and demonstration of willingness to nip this in the bud. You agree with me. I'm glad as well that I have a professional on my right here. The extent of damage that has been done doesn't take just a month, 2 or even a year to actually reverse. And like Madam Sawa rightly said, I have always been a strong advocate and believer that there's even no future. The future always been talked about, arrived yesterday. Any young person who is here being told today that there's a future for you tomorrow, there's that in itself, in a way, making you feel that there's something ahead when you are prepared for actually today. And so there's the future arrived yesterday, and there's a lot of catch-up we rather even need to do. I am very concerned even about the content of whatever liquids we drink, especially water as we're talking about. Because the fact that you even see water very clean does not mean it is clean. It is only the turbidity you are talking of which makes you get an impression that it's clean. Now, the president has made it very clear, and in less than 48 hours ago, that he believes so strongly that he has shown political will and wants to make sure that law enforcement also will be top-notch. Aside that, he also feels that, look, the talk about a state of emergency cannot be what we should be looking at now, because that may be the very extreme when all things failed. Like you raised, for instance, the concern about why the IGP's men were called off. It is because the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources has set up NIMOS, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, which is headed by one Kanobuo. All this is aimed at is to make sure that efforts are coordinated so that you do not even have people who are not well briefed going after people either out of some vindictiveness or even want to again profiteer from the system. Don't forget that when we're talking about Galamsey, it is not to mean that small-scale mining is illegal.
Oh yeah.
I hope you get what I mean. And so a police service or the police personnel may be going after people who they see to be engaged in small-scale mining, but not be able to verify. And so what that seeks to do...
So let me provide something there. Dr. Usu earlier said that when you go to some site of licensed small-scale miners, the only difference between they and Galamseyers is a license. The operations, the modus operandi, are just the same.
Yes.
So will it be an issue if a policeman says, this guy, even though has a license, is doing an illegal stuff and I'm going after him?
It shouldn't be an issue, but we must care so much about this because there are many who do not even have the full licenses. Somebody even has a prospecting license and is out there doing full-scale mining, and it is an illegality as well. Because if you do not have the permits from the Minerals Commission, from the EPA, water resources, etc., you are not mandated to do so. That is also the reason why President Mahama has given a directive that no new licenses be issued at this time. The last time I checked, I think about over 1,000 licenses were being reviewed from the ministry. And this had even given the chance to about 850 or 903 or so to get back and put their acts together. And the minister has given them ultimatum that if within the specified period you are not able to get everything right, you will definitely be blacklisted. These are efforts to make sure that we clean up the system. I must admit, however, also, and this I think many will agree with me, that the process of cleaning up and all of this is not just an event. It is a process because you would have to do A first before you move to B, go to C, and finally arrive at Z. But you cannot think that because we want to arrive at Z, once we start from A, we will jump to Z and then declare to the people of Ghana that we have successfully done.
Okay. So
everybody needs to be very concerned on the battle against illegal mining.
On the point about political will, now in October 2024, we're recording, turbidity levels of 14,000 NTU. In September 2025, according to Managing Director of Ghana Water Company, Mutawakilu, we are recording 32,000 NTU. So what is that political will the president has shown? If you can educate us, the young people and all of us are listening.
The president has demonstrated that he wants to make sure that this challenge is resolved once and for all.
Through what? What has he done?
Through efforts and actions that needs to be taken. That is why I'm telling you that, for instance, the statistics you have read to me could probably have been worse, if not that we have stopped the issuance of licenses. Anybody here who is being told would agree with me that if we are still issuing licenses, whatever you have read would have been twice or thrice the data you would have given to us. So in one way, there must be a starting point. And I have a saying that you must start from where you stand. And so from where you stand, then you now know this is the statistics. And that is why it is good you read these things out anyways. So that when eventually as the work begins, we need to be very certain. And like the current MD, Honorable Mutawakilu said, if we do not confront these things, there's an existential threat to we as well. Not only me, my children, and the young ones here as well too. Because whilst our water bodies get polluted, it has a lot of effect on us. The kidney situation that he raised and other health challenges. And so I am emphatic here. The President Mahama has not only demonstrated the political will, but he's actually walking the talk, and he's saying that, look, here in the past, we heard of the fact that, I do not want to politicize much of this, but like it or not, there will be a bit of politics to it. In the past, it was so prevalent that you had people who were being pointed at every now and then, who were strong stalwarts or political stalwarts, who were neck deep in the activities. And so we must make sure, and President Mahama has made it known consistently, that look, any officer, any appointee, any person even within my party who is found or alleged to be involved in that will even be given up for proper investigation.
Thank you very much. That's the Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoko. Let me bring in Dr. Paul Greve-Wachadankwa. Paul Greve, your government fought this for 8 years. The verdict on you was that you didn't win this fight. You didn't fight it well. According to Dr. Uso, you were moving in Kumasi direction when you wanted to get to Winneba. So really, what lessons do you think you didn't get right that the government of today must learn from so that we can all win this fight?
Yes. Kojo, very good morning to you and to my colleague panelists and to the young people in the studio and those that are watching us. And to state that President John Dramani Mahama's honeymoon is well overdue. It's over. Clearly, if you hear the sentiments that are coming around the table, you can clearly see that there isn't a real game plan to roadmaster these Galamsey issues and to bring it to an end. I agree and understand that government is a continuum and that the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had its own fair share of the challenges with dealing with illegal mining and its antecedents. Can also agree that when you tour the length and breadth of this country, which many of us have, especially as politicians when we are campaigning, you clearly see that Galamsey or mining or small-scale mining and even the adverse illegality of it is an economic venture in the communities where mining goes on, which clearly means that every government that wants to be able to tackle the adverse effects of the ripples of illegal mining need to consider an alternative for the young people that are living in those communities, which is why our government brought in the Alternative Livelihood Program, which was clearly launched very well and had lots of young people that were involved in it, so you can move them from a state of illegality to a more sustainable job. Our government also brought in the mercury-free machines to ensure that people do not mine along water bodies, and we set those small-scale miners into groups.
Allow me.
Allow me.
All of the things you're talking about did not bring us the desired results. And I'm asking, what shortcomings did you encounter that you can point out to this government that when you do same, you will fail and therefore do it differently?
My suggestions to this government really is that, you see, no one has to be, we don't need to be political hypocrites. We know where the issues are, we know how to deal with the issues. Okay? This government campaigned and the Ghanaian people gave them power. Like I said, the honeymoon is over. We haven't seen a lot of political will that President Mahama has shown to this. We had efforts, and those efforts yielded maximum fruits. And I cannot sit here to deny that our efforts didn't yield fruits. Of course, we didn't end the fight against illegal mining, which is why President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo said he was putting his presidency on the line. He told you clearly how important this is. We have not seen such efforts from President John Dramani Mahama. But if I would give a counsel and an advice to the sitting government, my advice would be very simple. When we don't tackle the illegality of mining, we would one day wake up and would have nobody to govern. Because the issues are so adverse, which is why I state very clearly that we are depleting the ozone layer. The climate induction is very high. It's a risk to our security, and a number of issues that you cannot run away from. So the government must be up and doing, pick up lessons from us, because we obviously worked very hard. And which are the lessons that I'm bringing on board to remind them of the things that we did that yielded the fruits that has brought us to where we are. I'm glad that the Ghana Water Company is reminding the Ghanaian of the stability level, because it clearly tells us that the government has been sleeping since it began. You have had an opportunity to be in government from January. You're still on honeymoon in September. No, I think that we need to wake up the president. Wake up from the honeymoon. It's over. So that he can be able to address these issues. All of us stand at risk. Clearly, all of us stand at risk. I thought that the LI 2462 would have been revoked by now. It is now that the Attorney General is trying to do it. All these are issues that should have been dealt with boldly and strongly. And I want to be able to wake up one day and see that at least beyond the law enforcement that are there, why should people be making money at the detriment of our health?
Okay. So that's Dr. Palgrave Boache Dankwa there. Now we have Ivan Che Innocent. He's a youth activist. I think that I'll be bringing him in shortly for him to also give us what he does make of the president's encounter. So we'll try and get him. We'll try and get him a microphone so that he can join us from where he is. Okay, great. Okay, so Innocent, I guess you are a young person. Having listened to the president, I mean, on the day the president was speaking to the people, his responses to Galamsey, what did that tell you as a young man?
Good morning to your cherished viewers and to you yourself. I think the general verdict lies with Ghanaians. I think so far there's been a general reaction to the sort of answers that the president gave. But for me, if you look at this whole Galamsey fight, I think we have failed ourselves as people, because Galamsey, whichever way we want to see it, I see it's some sort of a health and social cancer that has eaten so deep into the fabric of our society, and that it's very important that as people, we find every means possible to stop the bleeding. That is non-negotiable. But there's something that we cannot play politics with, and that is the sort of baseline conversation that we need to have. But I am looking at it from this angle. I think that what we have failed to do, yes, I agree with the president when he said 8 months is not enough to, undo 8 years of destruction. But 8 months is enough to establish certain conventional deterrence. That should be the baseline to deter people from engaging in some of these things. Because as we speak, there seems to be enough motivation for people to be going into the Galamsey areas. And as we speak, yes, there are people in the bushes. You ask yourself, what is the motivation? Because we haven't been able to establish these baseline deterrents that are so biting enough to scare people. As we speak, we have reports sitting there. the Professor Frimpong Boateng report is still sitting in the books. Nobody is being prosecuted. So when we do some of these things, failure to do some of these things will energize people who feel that, hey, this is our time, our government has come, and they feel motivated to go into the bushes. So I want to base my argument on deterrence. I think that we need to be very radical in our approach as a state, and that is what we have failed to do over the years. So if we become very radical and make sure that people who were very complicit in the past, because the reports are quite available, and as we speak, there are people whose complicity are quite obvious. We need to be very radical in our approach, irrespective of where one stands across the political divide. If we begin and adopt these measures, I'm sure we'll be able to make a headway, rather than playing these political chess games, one recriminating this person failed to do this, did this. For me, that is not the way. Young people could sense the destructive nature of Galamsey and the fact that the health implications of some of these things are very overriding and very consequential. We're going to sit here and do politics with some of these things, because prior to the election, we all saw what was happening in this country, and people, various agencies threatened to go on strike, demonstration and stuff, because some of these things don't know your political affiliation or affinity. If you get out there to buy water, it doesn't know whether you're NDC or MPP. We are all at risk. So I think we need to be very decisive in our approach. And again, also if you look at... But
on the point of the organizations who were up in arms before the election, isn't it intriguing that after the election, Galamsey hasn't stopped, but you don't see them make the same noise again?
They do, actually.
No, it's as for civil society, I get you. Yes. But if you talk about UTAG, labor organization, all of them were happy that they were going to go on strike.
Yes, I think, you see, once there is a change of government, people might want to give a certain briefing. Okay. It makes sense, because in our part of the world, when the government changes, the whole machinery of governance undergo a certain radical change. So you need to put in measures and institutions to be able to, so people might want to give a government a certain briefing space. It's the reason why you don't see them out there. So if we are able to institute proper measures that are sustainable, that have long-term reasonable outcome, I think people will cool, because nobody is interested in just taking on the street, making demonstrations and stuff. At the end of the day, we want to stop the bleeding, and that should be the focus. And over the years, we've been chasing people from the bushes since Rawlins's time, but we are still here. You see, I think we need to vary our measures, because if you go to Obuasi, for instance, that is one of the mining areas. These problems that we are mentioning is something historical. That is the historical realities the people of Obuasi have been living since 1990 up to now. It's unfortunate we're having this conversation at the national level. But if you go to Obuasi and you engage the people, these are the realities they've been living over the years. You ask yourself, what have we done as people? Then the alternative livelihood becomes quite imperative, because you cannot chase a man from the bush and ask him to stop mining when he has nothing to do. They will fight and die making sure that they do what they do to survive. So I think what we need to do is to also look at the other alternative livelihood. So it will be like a substitution. You are taking people from the mining side, then you are substitute them into something viable ventures that will also give them certain, incentive or certain opportunities to attend to life. But if we leave it and make it look like a political kind of, I think we will not be making a headway. It's the reason why for the past 30, 40 years and counting, we are still where we are. And I think we need to be very radical in our approach. We must start prosecuting people to serve as deterrents, to deter people from further engagement. Because you have this bulky document from Dr. Frimpong Boateng still sitting there. Nobody has touched it, and there are several other documents spelling out complicity of people. If we are doing nothing at the end of the day, there seem to be, if I'm an NDC person and I feel like, the state is very important in dealing with some of these things, I will feel emboldened to go to the bush. After all, my government is in power, you understand? So some of these things is the kind of approach that we need to adopt as people, and make sure that irrespective of where one stands across the political divide, in a concerted effort, we need to fight this cancer and win, because it's a cancer that is eating so deep. I disagree with people who call it canker. To me, it's a cancer that we need to stop.
So that's Ivan Che Innocent there. I think he wanted to make a point when he was speaking.
No, I was just saying that you have to be careful. Criminal activity is criminal activity. If armed robbers come to my house now, I'm not going to interrogate them and find them out if they have a livelihood. if they don't have a livelihood, say, okay, you can continue the armed robbery until you get a livelihood. It has to be done. We do need to find livelihood, but that is not an excuse to poison everybody inside. So I would say that it's important to find a livelihood. But for those of us who have people on the ground, they've talked to some of the illegal miners. Some of them had livelihoods, but you can never give them the amount of money that you are getting. Remember the gold rush in California? People were going in for money. I mean, who doing a decent job? What is the average salary? We find them a job. He's not going to get the amount of money he gets under. So you see, this thing we have to be a little bit use different methods. But we have spoken to people who had jobs and have left it to go into illegal mining. So I'll say it and say it again. You've rightly said it, it's a cancer, and we need to fight it. And I'm just appalled that we are saying that we have other means at our disposal. The house is burning. Let's get the fire service in and deal with the fire and before it consumes us all. And before I end, I want to say that some people foresaw all this. When I think it was under Rawlings' time, when it was being said that, look, why should only big multinational companies be mining? Why shouldn't Ghanaians also mine? Some people with foresight say, you have an allergy to enforcement. In fact, let me call out Joy. When I was coming here this morning, I think people were going for Keep Fit. There was very, very loud music going on. That gave me a bad headache. But nobody was doing anything about it. The EPA has decibel levels. If you're going on a walk, does that mean that you should play? But nobody was doing anything about it. We have an allergy to enforcement. So knowing the kind of people we are, those with foresight said, this small-scale mining, you see, mining is an expensive business if you want to do it properly. My brother talked about all the things that need to be in place. But if you just go around digging haphazard, it doesn't cost money. So because we have an allergy to enforcement, we said just leave it for now. But we rushed into it, and this is what we have reaped.
All right. Before I come to you, let me go to my studio audience so that we can have their point as well. I see my friend with a microphone. So you introduce yourself, tell us your name, where you're coming from, and then let's hear from you your point about this whole fight against Galamsey and what you do make of what the government says they are doing.
I'd like to say a good morning to your viewers, and I'll use this opportunity to greet my Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Joycelyn Tete. This issue of Galamsey is a very great issue to the nation, with a sense that those out there, in as much as we are calling on the government to intervene, those back there in the villages where they do the Galamsey must also know that this Galamsey is going to affect them the most than those up here, because the water they drink is going to be polluted. It's already polluted, and if they go do anything in it, they are going to get affected. And the tubers of yam, the cassava, and every other thing is going to be affected by these heavy metals. In 2024 October, research said they found heavy metals in some of the yams that were exported. We were lucky they have the machines and then other staffs to verify these things that they were not so much to consumption. But here in Ghana, hardly do we hear those research companies or other people coming in to tell us that these yams produced in this particular community have been affected by these heavy metals.
Okay.
And so we need to be very cautious of what we do.
Thank you very much. I see a hand here. Okay, yeah, the one in suit. The lady, did you raise your hand up? Okay, so after I go to the lady, yeah. Okay. Your name and where you're calling? Your university, and then we can hear you.
My name is Herbert Apietu Dankwa, and I'm the Speaker of Parliament, University of Ghana Parliament House.
Okay. Oh, Speaker. Right, honorable Speaker.
Thank you. So, my bite on this national Galamsey issue, and I would like to commend the President for so far the efforts, but the bottom line is it's not enough. Taking things from a utilitarian perspective and also consequentialist perspective, it is well appreciated that things of national good or happiness should be considered with utmost sense of urgency. And we don't treat a state of emergency issue with a gradual approach to resolve it. And that is what we see the President and the government doing now. we could see that the effect to this particular threat, it is not something that demands a gradual approach to solve it. And I do believe if they are really to show the political will, the first step is not the reverse. It is a state of emergency, because it is out of state of emergency that you will be able to go and state that all these miners on the water bodies and all that, they have no right. And whenever this particular action is being determined, we will be able to take them up from there. I saw the president also speaking about some mining, some forest reserves, even being infiltrated by these miners. What are they doing in there? And the aspect of we trying to create an alternative livelihood, as Ivan stated, is something to me is we should really consider. But it is not just about lives, creating jobs for them, because the amount of money they make, as Mami also said, is something that can be a year's amount, can one day amount that they can make. It can be someone's year's salary. So giving them a job is not going to curb this particular. I guess there is a moral lapse in here. We should sit down as Ghanaians. We should be patriotic enough. Look at the future. You want to make the money. You'll be giving birth to kids.
So you want a state of emergency to be declared?
Indeed, it has to be. Even if not, the commitment shouldn't just be political. Our lives can't be politicized.
Okay, I'm grateful. Let me take the young lady there behind you, and then we can move on. So your name and the university you're coming from.
Good morning. My name is Jamila Bagia from Accra Technical University.
Great.
With regard to this Galamsey issue, I think the initiative the current government has put in place are good approaches towards the Galamsey. Because when you look at his policy of blue water guard, and then the implementation of Tree for Life, that will help resort our forest, which was being destroyed, and also the regulation of framework, which will help in the categorization of, which is going to help us in the categorization of the small scale mining, large scale, and then the medium scale mining. But when and he also made mention of community engagement. So this community engagement will help them educate the people who are involved in this Galamsey mining that, oh, this thing we are doing, it is not good for us. This is the outcome we are going to get. It is going to impact us negatively. So due to with these policies, the people will be able to know that, oh, we are not doing the right thing. So let's do this. And the government will also give an alternative livelihood program for them. So if I'm not involved in mining, I'll be able to do this to make a living. It's not only mining that can help me make it in life.
Okay, all right.
So I think declaring a state of emergency is a harsh approach.
Oh, okay.
We are humans, and a human desire for something is something that you cannot just use a day to halt it.
Okay, all right, I hear. Thank you very much. I think the two of you wanted to have a reaction.
Kojo, please. Kojo, if I may.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm just giving you a minute, and I'll give him 2 minutes.
My 1 minute is okay. Kojo, hey, when I hear the sentiments around the table and I listen to Awula, I get more troubled because the issues are scary. I don't know why we should pamper ourselves when we need to declare a state of emergency. I don't know why the NDC campaigned on state of emergency. Nanado Dankwe Kufuado state of emergency. Nanado Dankwe Kufuado state of emergency.
Why didn't you declare it?
Why didn't we declare it?
Yes.
I see.
Answer.
You know, hold on. You recall that the measures that we had put in place were supposed to address these issues. Now, in the midst of, you remember the 2020 elections, when the NDC gave a lot of political pressure, knowing very well, we lost a lot of seats in those areas. That is why the president, Nanado Dankwe Kufuado, said he will put his presidency on the line. That even if we have to lose seats,
in areas where mining is ongoing, we are ready to lose those seats. And it was reflected
Why
in the
didn't
2020
you declare?
election.
That's the question. Answer it.
Why haven't they declared it?
Answer yours
No,
first.
why haven't they declared it? You see, they are in power now. We have given the power to them.
Okay.
They are in power. They must be able to declare that state of
Kojo, he has not answered the
Thank you very
question.
much.
Answer why didn't you declare?
He won't be able. He won't be able to answer. So let's move on.
So they should also not declare because we did not.
We have to put Ghana first.
he will
Let's
also
put
answer.
Ghana first and declare state of emergency.
Yes.
The house is burning. Are we going to wait for the house to be completely burned before we act?
Elikem, your men, and Awula has mentioned the names during campaign. We saw it. Sam George said the president, if he wants to declare or wants to fight Galamsey, he can do it in just a day. What has changed that today? We are being told that, well, we cannot declare because it is the last resort. He wanted the government to declare. Why has it changed?
You say it is one thing for a president to even outrightly go there and say he is prepared to put his presidency on the line. That is to tell you he appreciated that under his tenure, it had gotten to that very limit. But let me remind my brother that losing parliamentary seats is not the same as losing presidential. So
But
these are two
that statement he made it in 2017 when they had come into power first.
You see,
just like you have come.
Yes, it is the reason why we need to look at this situation, which is multifaceted, and approaches cannot be just one. The professionals will give theirs, the politicians will also prefer theirs. I am telling you, for instance, we need to even intensify education. Like Aula said, many out there who are even engaged in illegal mining, they do not care, and some do not even know the extent of damage. I recall seeing a video where a young man was running to his side, hey, you get it. And such a person, you cannot talk about livelihood to transform him. Yep. It is education that will need to be done, and it must be intensified. One, the purpose of education is to transform or reform society or solve societal problems. Imagine that we engage the Ministry of Education, which we will be doing. We at Forestry intend to do these things. So I'm trying to outline all these things. To engage in thorough education, so that in this education, this will involve you, the media, as well. Imagine, Bruce, you are also a public figure now.
Okay, sorry. So I think there are lots of people confuse my name. My name is not Brace, it is Brace.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that my father who's watching will be proud.
Okay. Brace.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Imagine as part of education, we churn out material that you also use on your platform daily. Just 5 minutes beginning and 5 minutes at the end of it. That is education. We go to Ghana Education Service or Ministry of Education and let our students from the basics especially learn poems, rhymes, recitals and all of that, and even have forest clubs. We used to watch Captain Planet in those days, and to us, it was just some action thing we used to enjoy on Sundays. But growing up, you and I will agree today that, it was all about the environment after all. Bringing all these things back in one way or the other is to conscientize the people. Because majority of some of these people who already are in this engagement, it is difficult to transform them. So for them, law enforcement and political will be dealing with them. Our traditional authorities wield a lot of power also in our communities. If we can engage them more in this exercise. So I'm trying to let you know, both short, medium, and long term.
Let me go for a break. But let me go for a break. When I come back, you continue.
Okay.
But I'm still asking.
All right.
At what point did you realize that it was by education and not a declaration of a state of emergency?
Well, I can tell you point blank that I'm not sure you ever heard the president made a comment that suggests, even when he was an opposition leader, that there was a need for a state of emergency to be declared.
Okay.
However,
what you've said.
Okay.
What you've said here. We'll take a break. When I come, I'll take it from where you've landed.
Okay.
That you wouldn't hear the president say that in the run-up to the election, or interrogate that here on Prime Insight. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Calling all food lovers. The Accra Food Festival returns September 20th through 22nd at Place 100, the cleanest, greenest, most elegant park in Accra. Located on Independence Avenue directly next to the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Bring the entire family to enjoy a long weekend, sampling and purchasing small plates from the best local and international food, drinks, and lifestyle brands in the country. There will be live entertainment and fun for all ages. Tickets are 50 Ghana cedis per person, under 5 and over 65 admitted free. Skip the lines and purchase tickets in advance on Ego Tickets. The Accra Food Festival is powered by Joy Prime, Hits FM, Melcom, Merben Capital, and Belacqua. Follow Accra Premium and Accra Food Festival on social media for more information.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trout from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Give me the luckiest. Copy from your be luckiest. From the depth cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go give me luckiest. No matter why you're lucky. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you're poor, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Hey! Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial *712#. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Welcome back to Prime Insights here on Joy Prime. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace, and I'm here with my guest, Elikem Kotoko, Deputy CEO of Forestry Commission. We have Dr. Paul Grib-Wachedankwa, a former government spokesperson on governance. Dr. Solomon Owusu is mining engineering and mineral economics consultant from the US of A. Awula Sewa is coordinator, eco-conscious citizens, and they have been at the forefront of this whole fight against Galamsey. Ivan Che Innocent is youth activist, and I have studio audiences from the University of Ghana and the Accra Technical University. Well, so we ended on a note, and I'll let you come there. But let me ask Awula a question. Awula, the pact the presidential candidate signed on, do you remember if it included a declaration of state of emergency?
Well, the pact was more to stop illegal mining. Okay. In fact, I think we should just call it illegal mining. That shows us that it's a criminal activity. Okay. And anybody who condones criminal activity, needs to ask themselves why. Obviously, illegal activity is still going on. So it just shows that, we signed the pact, but was the intention there to actually do something about the cancer we are facing.
Okay. Elikem, let me read you. And we have started a campaign which we are trying to bring back what members of your government said. So, for example, Sam George once said, the man who is paid to be president has the power to end Galamsey in a week if he wants. In a week. You spend so many weeks in government, right? Okay. Samuel Okujoto Ablakwa says, the government appears to be complicit in this crisis, Galamsey, focusing more on retaining political power than on protecting the lives. This was October 2024. He said that. Okay, so let's get back to where we stopped. Okay. What has changed?
Okay. Nothing has changed.
Okay.
The truth is there is one that is showing commitment to confronting this canker. So just as I was outlining to you, apart from the fact that I made mention of the political will enforcement and all that, you agree with me that even as we speak today, there's been more arrests, there's been more seizures of equipment and all that. But that, I must agree, is never enough because the extent of damage, which was done over a period of almost a decade, is so huge that Ghanaians are so concerned and worried because whether it was huge or small, the little efforts you are taking must be, Ghanaians expect that we need to speed up. It is the reason why there was even the cry for the repeal of the LI, and which has now also been kicked in action. And we must agree, however, that this is a process. And so President Mahama has demonstrated, and in fact, in his address, which is probably what occasioned even this meeting today, is that he said it clearly that he believes that there's no need for a state of emergency now. But however, when it gets to that point where he thinks there should be the need for a state of emergency, you see, we may only be looking at, okay, you need to declare a state of emergency. What are the conditions that might arise for a state of emergency to be declared? What are the effects of all of that? Governance is a continuum, but governments are also different. So he has also made it very clear that there are efforts being made towards that. That is why even the COMSDEP, which was being launched, which was the major reason why we unfortunately lost 8 citizens, 8 gallant men of this citizen, of this country. And so there's some, how do I put it? There's glaring evidence of this regime demonstrating that it wants to fight this. If President Mahama was not interested in doing so, I am sure that today we will not even be talking of the fact that we now want to even repeal that. And that is the cry of the people. There is a need to do this. So we must do it in order to transform the sector. But it is also something we must all agree that it will take a process.
For us together. I'm grateful. Someone just sent me this from St. George. It says, Galamsey is Ghana's drug trade. It is to Ghana what cocaine is to Colombia. There are cartels involved. These cartels have politicians, chiefs, and security personnel involved. Our government is complicit and would not do anything about it. At Nana Akufo-Addo bears ultimate responsibility. Just like today President Mahama does. He has the power to arrest and deal decisively with everyone involved. I don't care what party they belong to. They are wicked criminals. Deal with them. But alas, Nanado cannot. He is complicit and a beneficiary. If we want to deal with this canker, we need to be honest and brutally frank with the truth.
Let me give a little example. I think, I'm not sure I said this before, but you know the Summerboy enclave there. I've forgotten the date though. I was part of the team that went there to uncover the rot where compartment 198 was being infringed and the illegal mining that was going on there. When that happened, I had calls. And these calls were people who felt that, hey, be more careful because you may be stepping on certain toes based on these and all that. And I recall vividly, when we even won power, somebody called me from Takwap and said that, hey, Charlie, now as you win power, I have a concession for you. But it is up to me to know whether my conscience will be clear with something of that sort or not. And in life itself as a young man, I have children too. What at all am I looking forward to apart from giving them the best education so they can fly on their own? And so to some extent, that is why I feel education matters so much. So both, not only the media, the traditional authorities, our social class, and many others will have a role to play in ensuring that we all participate in the exercise. You see, there was a time in the past where it was not even allowed for you to criticize a government when you feel that this is not being done. But there's another time now where someone will say, okay, I take your criticism. Maybe we'll see how to tweak it or work on it. What did we not say about repealing the law and then amending it and the cry again and now make it? That is to tell you that, okay, having gauged and seen that the tempo was this, now we underrated, maybe it is at that level, so we must rather move in this way. The only thing which I know, the likes of the Aula Sawa, is that the right name? Is that sometimes it may not be all the requirements or all the propositions you would put out that could be embraced. Even though you may be also at a different standpoint, believing that A, B, C must be done at all costs. But it could also be that, okay, when A, B is done, eventually there may not be the need for C. And so that is what I feel in the wisdom of the president. Because even today, and don't forget, in a long time, it has always been that a state of emergency be declared. But you see, it is not the whole of Ghana that is even faced with this canker.
Targeted state of emergency.
So there's been a shift. There's even, you see, even with the advocates.
Onset, we said targeted state of emergency.
I recall vividly, even with the advocates, initially, it was that let there be a state of emergency.
But it now declared all over Ghana.
Thank you very much.
No, that's not what they said. No, but that was you can Google.
No. But that was. Are you saying that they meant let's declare a state of emergency even over Greater Accra? Is that what you?
That is what I'm saying. So there should be even clarity.
No, they said it.
There should be. They
said declare a state of emergency over Galamsey areas.
Yes, because I believe that is what I'm saying, that it is the reason why the president believes that, okay, I have now come in. I am in 8 months. And so I want to make sure that I'm in my first year. Let me put it. I'm in my first year. Let me put in the measures I believe will also work. A, B, C. When A, B, C does not work, then I must enforce D at all costs.
Exactly.
Hopefully, we'll not all be dead by then.
No,
President Mahama said he's reluctant.
Look, let me give you a last example.
Reluctant means he's unwilling.
Hold on.
He said he's reluctant.
No, he doesn't.
The president said he's reluctant.
That's what he said. On the day of the tragic event in Obuasi, I went by road, and when I stopped in Obuasi, in fact, I have lived in a mining community in Takwa for 3 years where my dad worked.
Yeah.
And in Obuasi, I stopped by just to buy roasted corn. It didn't occur to me that, well, this was a mining town. But we saw the size of the corn and how it looked. It looked malnourished. Then it occurred to me that, oh, indeed, this is the way it affects I'm in town. You get it? And I agree with the cycle. Because when the water bodies are polluted, aquatic life is destroyed, it goes to affect the fertility of the soil, goes into the crop, affects our health.
Thank you, I'm grateful. We have to move on. But once you're the Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, how many of our forests did you say you've been able to recover?
All 9 that were classified red zones have been reversed.
What are the names?
Even the president admits that 2 have been retaken out of the 9.
And yes, that's what I'm saying. That all the 9 that were red zones were taken, but they are no longer red zones.
What are they now?
2 of those are now red zones.
So
that 2 out of the 9 are now red zones.
And so that you see, for instance, if 2 out of 9, out of 200 and over 258 forest reserves that we have, I am not saying that we should wait for 200 forests to be invaded before we say that then the severity of the matter is very high. And so if 9 have been reversed or have been changed from red zones to yellow or green, and 2 out of that has been taken, we need to intensify the effort. From Forestry Commission, let me also tell you one thing. I even feel that the Forestry Commission also needs to be very more resourced, because we do not have many of our staff as our forest rangers and all that on the field to constantly guard against that. The last thing I would want to say, when you go to even our neighboring countries, staff of the forestry, their Forest Commission are military detachment. It is only in Ghana that we are civilians. And so you are probably holding a hunting gun, whilst the gentleman on the other side is wielding a very sophisticated weapon. And so I would even wish in my lifetime that we should begin to find a way to make serious amendments that will even include making sure that it is a deployment, the Forestry Commission will be a deployment from the military.
Okay. I have a list here, and you know when it comes to Galamsey, Troy News is really at the forefront of this. Our man Erastus Asaridonko is the Colossus guy, together with Awulai Dems in this. Now, the green areas, as we know now, is Tontun. Tontun, I'm told, is green now. You look at Fury Headwaters, is also green.
Yeah.
Angobin Shelter Belt is also green.
Yeah.
Totua Shelter Belt is also green. That is all. The rest of them are all impacted. The rest of them. So you talk about Fury River, there's Galamsey going on, Nuen South, there's Galamsey, Nuen North, there is, Bonsa River, there is, Edunfree, there is, Subri River, there is, Cape 3 Points, that's my home district municipality, there is, Krokosua Hills, there is, Sway River, there is, Suhuma is there, Amiasu East, Amiasu South, Afao Hills, Upper Wasa, Tano Anya, there is, Tano Nimre, there is, Yoyo River, there is, Boyne River, there is, Boyne Tano, there is. So that's, and even the one that are dangerous.
Yeah.
The offense shelter belt, complete red.
Yeah.
Asenanyo is complete red. Let me give this one too. Deseri is also complete red. So really, I don't know. But if you look at
but you see, and don't forget that these were all red, and today you are able to even say that you've mentioned 4 or 5 that are green. And that is what I'm telling you. President Mahama believes that this is a process I have within this year to make sure I go through A, B, C. When A doesn't work, B doesn't work, C doesn't work, then definitely I know that I must enforce D.
Okay.
And so you cannot jump to say that we had A. And when we all agree, and kudos to Erastus for the good job he and some other environmentalists are doing, is that you cannot say that even though I agree that government has been able to curb these and turn some reds to green, because 3 others are red, it means that there must be a state of emergency. Even at the time when, even when it was 9, that was not done.
Okay.
And so President Mahama has come in and been able to resolve that alone. That tells you the commitment.
Thank you very much.
And I agree with the concern by Aula and many others over the pollution.
Let's look at the impact of all of this. Now we're being told that we need to pay more for water and electricity because of Galamsey. But let me start this conversation with Ivan. He's been itching to come in. Ivan, so let's start with you. Now you have been asked to now say, because of the negligence of government and the greediness of the Galamsey, you and I, we have to pay more for water. Do we have to accept this?
I think it's quite unfortunate, but listening to the conversation we've had here, there is one common thread. We all agree that there is a menace going on and something has to be done. That is appreciated, and I think that we need to walk the line, make sure that what is necessary is done. You see, listening to Madam, you could see clearly she has her own suspicion because of where we are coming from, where promises were made. But it got to a time the complicity of officialdom was so tacit to the extent that the people were not ready to move a finger. So going forward, promises and assurances have been given, but we are all wary because of the experiences and the kind of encounter we've had in the past. And it makes sense. And I think that should inspire power bearers at this point in time to make drastic and brutal measures to ensure that we stop this bleeding and this cancer. I mean, that is the way forward. And then come to tariff. Naturally, a basic human instinct, whenever there is an increment, we move to a phase of resistance before we adapt and then accept. But before you accept, there are phases, or there are certain things that you need to analyze. The basis upon which these taxes are being introduced, are they reasonable? So if they are telling you that for the complexity of the state, or the state inability or inaction or certain inertia on the part of the state to do something, as a result of that we are being taxed. Obviously, people will be very angry. And for me, I listened to some of the percentages that were being proposed. They were quite outrageous. And I'm sure PURC will come in and intercede on government, on the people of this country's behalf, because the percentages are quite outrageous.
But Ivan, if you see the pollution that the water company limited has to treat to get that clean but not safe water for all of us to use. Doesn't it tell you that, well, we need to help them, that they need help?
Of course we do. But you see, the complicity of government makes it it makes sense that government bear a larger part of this whole the cost. Okay. And then a little can be passed to the people of this country. And with electricity, you see, whenever electricity tariff is mentioned, the people go angry. Why? Because some of these state-owned enterprises, in recent times have themselves become debt-producing machines because of gross mismanagement, reckless financial mismanagement. For instance, ECG. How do you get out there to convince the average Ghanaian that on a yearly basis, we are running 32% both commercial and technical losses? No private person will agree to some of these things. You understand? So there is this reckless level of ineptity within these institutions. At the end of the day, the average Ghanaian who is paying for the services and it's not getting the appropriate services, the monies that are being supposed to use to support some of these things are being wasted by some of these state-owned enterprises. And very often the argument they tell you that, oh, state-owned enterprises are not profit-making ventures, but I'm not sure they are debt manufacturing entities as well. And some of these things don't make sense. So it's the reason why very often we stifle this conversation and there is this resistance on the part of Ghanaians. Yeah, I understand we need to pay tariff, but I think we must also be very considerate and look at the prevailing economic circumstances at play now. Things are not really moving well. Government has just changed. Yes, the economic fortune some way or the other are picking up, but it is not all well with Ghanaians. Okay. We've not get out of the woods yet. Okay. So I think that we need to be very considerate and make sure that whatever price we peg will reflect the socio-economic situation that the ordinary Ghanaian is dealing with. Okay. And that will make sense rather than considering those outrageous percentages that are being thrown out there.
When I saw the state of that treatment plant in the central region that the minister asked for it to be closed down, I said, then we probably have to pay the over 200,000 they're asking for because the pollution is just too much. But will you pay?
Well, you see, for me, this is very good because if this is the only thing that will make Ghanaians sit up, then so be it. We are not sitting up when 60% of our water bodies are poisoned because some people think it doesn't affect me. Yes. And that's a very selfish way of looking at things. You think somewhere far away somebody is being poisoned and I don't care. You talk about the kidney disease 4 times. Oh, I don't care, it's not me. But the only thing we seem to care about is the tariffs that are affecting us directly. We don't seem to realize that even this water we're about to drink, do we actually know what we're drinking? As our brother has told us, whether it's clear or not doesn't mean that there are no toxins. So I'm saying that anything that will get us out of our complacency and make us sit up and say, well, I don't want to be poisoned. So be it. Let them raise it 300% if that is what will make Ghanaians sit up. That there's a cost to illegal mining. You don't just sit there. We're going to find them a livelihood. You're not taking the decisive steps. Then so be it. Let us pay 500% if that is what will jolt us into sitting up and saying that this cancer must be stopped. The house is burning. Let's get the fire service, put out the fire. Let's have a pause in this small-scale mining until we can clean up the place and be ready to enforce. Let me say this about education. The best form of education is enforcement. There's no point in telling people, this is the situation, don't do this, and you don't enforce. You're not prepared to enforce. Education is in vain. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
I think I need to come in.
Okay.
Well spoken. Okay. I think it's all about the state of emergency. And I have to be frank and straightforward here. I support the president that this is not the time. Why am I saying that?
Did you have the same position in December 2024?
No. The state of emergency, I never commented. Look, you can check all my publications, all my interviews.
As a human being,
I never
in December 2024, did you ever?
I said I never commented.
I'm not talking about your.
I won't go to the past. Let me give you my professional opinion on this.
Did you have the same professional stand in 2024?
We mine in other countries, and now Ghana is number 6 in the world, gold production. It starts from China number 1, Russia number 2, Australia number 3, Canada number 4, USA number 5, Ghana number 6. And in USA, we produce more gold than Ghana. And in USA, the state that produces more than 70% of gold in USA is Nevada. That is where I live right now. And that is where I work. I work in a gold mine. Okay. So if I tell you there are solutions, we can implement those solutions so that they can mine in environmentally friendly manner, devoid of water pollution and land destruction. I know what I'm talking about. That is what the president wants to bring. And it takes time. If you start implementing it even today, it takes some time. That's why Ghanaians gave them 8 years to implement that. They didn't listen to anybody. Now President Mahama is 8 months. And I can confidently tell you.
The president's
wait. I can confidently tell you that from what I'm hearing, the president is willing and determined to implement those solutions. There are technologies to address the wastewater. There are technologies to address the rivers, clean the rivers, monitor the rivers, and all that. Some of those technologies, if you stop the mining, you bring it, and it will not work because you should implement it and adjust the system whilst they are working. That's why I'm telling you, this is not the time. Whilst they are working, you implement, you adjust it, you tweak it for it to fit into the Ghanaian system.
And not for the water bodies. They're not supposed to mine.
No, for the water body, I've stated it here that everybody should be cleared. I've stated that one.
In fact,
if the state of emergency is on the river body, I support it 100%.
That is what we are saying.
That's what we are calling for.
It is already illegal. It is already. Wait.
We know it's illegal, but it's not being enforced.
When you were speaking, I kept quiet. Keep quiet and listen to me, please. You know what? The water body itself is illegal. Anybody mining is illegal. And I stated it here. Now, they've introduced the blue water guard. But my brother, let me be frank with you. They should up their game. They inaugurated the blue water guard in March 2025, 6 months down the lane. And we are not seeing anything different. They should up their game. Listen to me, my brother.
Good.
Let's stop the politics. Face the fact. And save the nation. 6 months. And the water is people. Chinese guys are mining on our water bodies today, but there are blue water gas out there. My brother, it's pathetic. Let's try and deal with the situation. Okay. Look, please.
But from all of this analysis, you don't live with us in Ghana, but you come to Ghana because oftentimes you are here.
Look, I have family.
I understand.
I have friends.
I said you always.
When I come here, I eat.
Yes.
And the food, the water, the pipe, the analysis that I made.
The question I'm going to pose to you is, are you ready to pay the over 200% Ghana Water Company?
I can pay today. I have a lot of money to pay that. So what about somebody out there whose salary is these people 500 Ghana? Is it the
Zoom Lion?
Zoom Lion.
They've increased it, I'm told.
Yes. Yeah. They can pay. I can buy this water. How many people can buy this water and drink? It's not about me. It's about the masses.
Okay.
I mean, that's all about.
So will you urge Ghanaians to pay?
Well,
masses.
If we need to pay, so what about if you don't pay and you don't get water? So for the payment, I would say if it's something that we need to pay and get water, but we should get the government to address the Galamsey problem. That one, I will be frank with you. As of today, I've not seen any difference between what they left and what we are seeing today.
Okay.
The same.
Okay.
Because the solution, this government has not started the real solution. They are only chasing the illegal miners. They've not started the real solution, which will tackle the water recycling and all that. That is a fact. And the president is willing to do that. That's why I support him.
Okay.
So let's all support the president.
Okay.
Give him some time.
Okay.
Before we call for state of... And I can assure you, if the president listens to me, if the government listens to me, and some of the professionals, not the politicians and lawyers, and we tackle the thing from technical perspective, we are going to get the problem. If we can mine in the United States and we don't pollute any water body, simple common sense, can we do that in Ghana? Yes, and that's where I'm coming from.
All right.
But they are not ready to listen. These people are also not ready to listen. But the president, from what I've heard, he is ready to listen and implement it.
Okay.
Finito.
Okay, all right.
I've not had my bite.
You have the bite.
I've not had
you have had one.
No, I just want to just put a little. No, just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. For instance, you see, I must say here forcefully that the president has demonstrated the need to tackle this.
Yes.
The first thing, that is the reason why he said no new licenses.
Okay, I hear.
No new permits. That is to make sure that while we address the issue, we must not be issuing new licenses. If not, that will exaggerate the problem.
All right.
Then secondly, now there's a repeal of the LI. That is a second step to make sure that we do. In fact, I didn't want to, I didn't.
But that repeal,
for instance.
That repeal,
yes.
You could have done it even in your first week.
Come on. Yeah.
It could have been done in the first.
Why? You repeal some LIs in the first few months.
That one you are not saying first few months, but you said
this. Saying that since you did that, you could have done this one.
I only want to let you know, and I'm sure you agree with me, that the president is demonstrating readiness to do so. Just on Thursday.
Thank you.
Because I'm not able to.
Thank you.
Just on Thursday.
It's fine.
Over 2,000 people in somewhere in my east. We're also actually, their whole illegal house was dismantled.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Before I come to you, let me read this comment. Eja Bata Akorte from Suhum says, His Excellency President Mahama has never, in opposition or in government, accused Akufo-Addo of not declaring a state of emergency. I'm challenging anyone to produce a statement where JM asked or attacked past government of not declaring state of emergency in Galamsey prone areas. The MPP has even the MPP lacks the moral right to comment, as even the Jubilee House was once tagged as Galamsey hub under their rule. In fact, this government has failed Ghanaians in this 9 months in office, especially with the people of Central Region. The president and his cohort were at the neck of the former president Nana Akufo-Addo to stop Galamsey in 2 weeks. Now, what do we see in our water bodies? Nana in Aguna Swedro says, I have lived in Aguna Swedro for the past 50 years and have never witnessed a shutdown of the water treatment plant due to illegal mining. This shutdown has affected millions of people in the region. Is that what President Mahama promised us? All of us will give an account of his works as it is. Have a nice day. Brookman in Annobel says declaring a state of emergency over Galamsey seems unlikely, considering many government officials are allegedly involved and benefiting from it. To effectively tackle Galamsey, potential solutions could include strengthening law enforcement and judicial accountability, implementing alternatives, implementing sustainable livelihood alternative for miners, enhancing community engagement and education. But the livelihood, I think the agreement around the table is that as for the livelihood, unless they say they are going to buy into it, else I don't know what your livelihood will bring to the miner. Anyway,
talk about hundreds of thousands.
This one says, Kojo, these are politicians are not helping us. They only think about themselves. God will judge them one by one.
Absolutely.
You just took.
There's a problem when we choose everything.
Hold on, I'm coming. You just
God has given us.
You just look at them when they are in opposition.
We need people to God.
This generation will suffer until we stop Galamsey. We lost a lot of prominent people, but still we are not thinking as a country. We need state of emergency. Okay, we need state of emergency now. Edwin from Kintampo. He says we need it now. Well, let me come to you, Dr. Palgrave. Watch it, Ankwa.
You know, Kojo, 11th September 2024. And
it's no more 14th September?
11th September, that's what I said. 11th September.
If I wrote it down. Yeah.
11th September.
That's what he said.
That's what I said, 2024. Okay. And then October 17, 2024. See, these are the things that are evidential. The President, John Dramani Mahama, said he's reluctant. Reluctant means that he's unwilling. So this water bill that is coming, how can we afford it? How can we afford it? We don't have money. How can we afford it?
But we had money when you were in.
How can we afford it? You see?
It was increased about 5.
How can we afford it?
But okay, to be fair, it wasn't up to the 200 and something percent.
It wasn't.
For.
But so we cannot. Let me.
Yes. I'm saying that don't make it focus though. But the proposal that came.
Let me
allow
at least
keep quiet.
They are heckling me.
I agree.
He is consulting as a consultant to the president.
I'm not. He's not.
He says that
he has not.
I am not.
He's running away.
I have not said anything.
No, please. Don't be mischievous. He hasn't said.
Politician.
Yeah, go on.
We cannot afford these tariffs that they are bringing. It is very clear. We don't have money. Look at these young people. How much is national service? If people are living alone, renting a house, how can we afford this?
And you were making millions at the
we cannot afford it. And so you see, for me, when the president says that he's reluctant, it's a very strong word.
Oh.
It means he's unwilling. It means that he's not going to listen. It means that he does not want to do anything about it.
It means different thing to the MPP.
Reluctant. Difficulty with addressing the issue. I don't want my president to be reluctant. I want my president to be bold. I want my president to be able to state that I'm going to tackle Galamsey head on. I want my president to be able to state that I'm calling these zones no-go areas. I'm deploying military, I'm deploying police. I'm ensuring that it's clamped down. I want to be able to see some arrests. That's what I want the president to do.
Okay.
But when you say you are reluctant, it means you're unwilling. It means that you're taking the back bench to sit down. That is why I said the honeymoon is over. It's well overdue.
Okay, thank you very much. But Elikem, do you know that yesterday I got a call from some people?
Yeah.
And they said, the president said no one should chase the Galamseyers out. but our DC is chasing us out. And I said, the president said that. And he sent me a video.
Yeah.
And the video was a response, when the president was asked about was alternative livelihood. The alternative livelihood to Galamsey.
Okay.
And then he said, you cannot, he was explaining, you cannot chase the youth out because some of them, they've come out of university, they don't have jobs.
Yeah.
So that is what they misconstrued as the president said, because we don't have jobs, you cannot chase us out. But let me come to you, the audience. This young man here has been signaling me to speak.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, are you willing to pay any increment from the Ghana water, increment in water bill as a result of what we are seeing?
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning to Ghanaians listening or watching us right now. My name is Abdul Fattah Amadou, the Minority Chief Whip of the University of Ghana Parliament House.
Hey.
I'm very glad to be here this morning and thank you for this question. Though I don't directly pay utilities as I stand or as I sit now, but my parents or my guardians do, so it affects me directly. But they will pay because there is nothing they can do. And it's also good that it has come. So it will wake a lot of Ghanaians to now know that it affects everyone directly. Even if you don't get a kidney or any disease out of Galamsey, but at least it will reflect in your utility bills.
Okay.
Generally speaking, I want to say that the problems Ghanaians that is confronting Ghana, even beyond Galamsey and all other problems that we are facing, I would put much of the blame on these people. I mean, the NPP and the NDC, they are not helping us at all in terms of solving the problems of Ghana, getting the opportunity to rule and to see to the day-to-day administration of this country. So whatever situation that we have found ourselves, we must blame those who have been given the opportunity to cater for this country. On the issue of this same Galamsey, I don't know why this morning, or it has been so severally, that whoever is coming from the opposition side to come and sit on a platform like this has to do all that he can to attack the government and undermine the effort of that government towards the problem. And to the one in power, all that he has to do is to defend and defend and defend no matter what, even if it is not making sense. So, on that same note, I want to put a little blame on some of you, the media and the journalists. As a third party, you are supposed to be helping the country in putting the government on the East Coast to work effectively. But here's the case. You have a criteria that you select panelists to discuss problems of this country. And you've been given so much attention or opportunity to NPP and NDC all the time. When we are having experts, when we are having civil society organizations who are actually indicating that they are willing to speak the truth to power.
Yeah.
But you keep on giving these people the same opportunities for them to be attacking and defending.
But that's why we brought two experts.
Yes, and so anytime that we see some of these, you see that there are special editions of these programs. That is when you now have experts or more experts.
Have you been watching our campaign on Galamsey as Joy News?
Yes, I've been watching this. I'm not specifically speaking to Joy News, but I'm just saying generally, media in Ghana.
Okay. All right.
It's like you have been giving so much attention to them.
We need to do more.
We need to do more.
Thank you very much. Let me
okay, thank you.
No, give your mic to this lady.
I like the guy.
But blue guy, speak for me. If you're not, then you can give it to the guy in Fugu for me. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Be brief with it because of time. Okay.
On my take on Galamsey, I believe Galamsey as a problem started a very long time. And it is very tangible to put in measures to cure such doings. I believe the president stated that if all measures failed, then there must be a state of emergency. So maybe, I don't know if Ghanaians want the president to explain the measures only for them to not put out a state of emergency, but because I can see to a lot of people, they are only based on the side he said he don't think.
But as a young Ghanaian, do you feel the impact of what the government is doing to deal with Galamsey?
Sure, very sure. I believe the government is really trying putting things in order. Okay. Yes, because maybe we might not be hearing it. And that is the reason why when I saw the first day I saw the flyer about the government meeting with the media, I was really glad because he is going to put us on about things that are going on.
Okay, all right.
We might not even hear about this state of emergency if not the intervention of the media.
Okay, all right then.
So I believe they are putting things in order. Let's just give the government some time.
Thank you. That's a young man there. Give government some time. Yes, gentlemen, your name and where you're coming from.
So my name is Samarin, the SRC Vice President for Accra Technical University.
Okay.
So as a student leader, myself, I sometimes believe that Galamsey on its own is something that we need to tackle it out of the political view. Normally, as we see it happening in our country, when MPP is in power, the NDC will do all their best to make them look too bad in terms of the fight for the Galamsey itself. But we don't look at what sometimes make those Galamsey people even involved in that activity and why the government doesn't fight that much enough. Normally, we have to look at the political campaign financing. Those people makes the government become very reluctant.
Okay.
Because when they are campaigning, they have they have the financiers, and most of these financiers are from the Galamsey side. And if these people are financing you, you come into power, the fight against the Galamsey itself become too reluctant.
Okay, I hear. Thank you very much. So that's your point. Let me hear from the woman, and then we'll go. Yes, young lady, you want to make a point? Oh, okay. I thought, okay, then that's it. This young man has been, okay, briefly for me, then I can bow.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Ramsey from University of Ghana. My take on this issue is that if someone asks me if I'll be able to pay or if there should be an increase in the tariffs, as a young Ghanaian, will I be able to pay? I'll just ask the person that what job has that person secured to me before you come and ask me about whether I can pay or not. You see, whenever people go on this issue based on their political philosophies, I see them as enemies of this country. Why? Because there's this concept in the science of politics called the chronological cycle, that we have to learn on past events and subsequently we arrive at a specific goal. That is what we should be looking at as Ghanaians.
Okay, all right. So, thank you very much. I'm grateful. Let me come to the table. Pick 1 minute each. Why? Yeah, because our time is almost up. Just 20 seconds each because that time is up. Yeah, Ivan, start from there.
I think it's quite refreshing to hear that the Minister of Lands has submitted the LI to the Attorney General for a possible repeal. But there is something that we are missing. Have we asked ourselves that we have supposed intellectuals who are supposed to sit in Parliament? So how come they arrived at that particular decision to pass that particular LI into law? Have we ever? Because the whole essence is liberating criminals to go and destroy our forests. So why will state institution, a prominent one like Parliament, individuals we have voted for, will go sit there and conclude that let us liberate people to go into the forest?
No. So I think on that score, from what I do, because Aula, you know that some of these large-scale mining companies are already in the forest. There's a way you go by. Is there implementation? That's why they say the mineral.
No. I'm talking about the LI itself. I'm talking about LI itself.
Yes, I get it. But I'm saying that we know that there are large-scale companies that are operating in the forest, even in the western region.
We know when it's.
I have been there. I forgot the name. But they are in the forest. What you do that you go under. You don't do surface.
Yes, it's different. It's different. But the small-scale miners were liberated to go and do some of these things. You understand? So I think that is one thing. And then the state of
emergency. Your time is up. No. I cannot. It's okay. Yes.
There was a point in time where the majority was used to abuse the minority, and that was when some of these things happened. But I'm enforcing further that President Mahama has shown willingness and commitment to fight this. It is the reason why he's saying there are not going to be any new licenses. He's making sure we repeal the LI.
Thank you.
Then there's the introduction of the comms there. The seizures and the arrests have increased more than in the past.
Mahama's
honeymoon is over.
Okay.
We can't pay the utility bills they are bringing.
I'm grateful.
We don't have money.
And then,
The LI was a low-hanging fruit. It should have been repealed by now. There's a cost to illegal mining. We don't seem to appreciate the cost to our health. And maybe now that there's a cost to our pocket, we might sit up and realize that illegal mining is not a victimless crime. It is killing us.
Okay. Kojo, about the tariff for ECG, the government must deal with the scandal before the citizens can pay any tariff, else stop and deal with the scandal. Justice Bedu from Takrade brought this one in. Doc, forgive me. My time is up. I have to.
1 second.
My producer says my time is up.
That's fine.
Thank you so much for coming. So, Elikem Kotoko is Deputy CEO of Forestry Commission. Dr. Paul Gregboache Dankwa is a former government spokesperson on governance. Dr. Solomon Owusu is governance and security. Okay, all right. Dr. Solomon Owusu is mining engineering and mineral economics consultant from the US of A. He is working in Nevada. That's what he said. Okay, and then Awula Sewa is coordinator, Eco-Conscious Citizens. Ivan Che Innocent is an innocent youth activist. Thank you very much thank you for coming. And to you, ladies and gentlemen who joined us, I'm grateful. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Thanks for joining us. Next week, let's meet for another wonderful edition when Blessed Soga takes a seat.
Uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes.